We're underway here. First period, Varsity Challenge Netball. And as you join us, the first score is on the board.
Is that Melbourne?
Isabel Hodson for the University of Melbourne. Just the 1-0 Monash in the grey uniforms in possession. A little back to front there was Meg Evenden with that first score. As the ball's pushed down the floor now, Abby McNally, possession, wing defence.
Melbourne scored.
Monash now back with the ball. Miranda Bailey onto Monique Tarrant.
What are we doing with the cameras? We got one down here near the...
That's not anything. Bring it back in, because that's not what it was.
And Isabel Hodson this time ties the score up, one apiece. Send it to Monash.
What? We get him in position.
He's on the radio.
Who's got the camera facing the bin, please? Just go and find him. Whoever it is, tell him to film the game.
Turnover there.
And the other one too, we need to fix that. Has the other one got the big ones?
Tarrant to Fallon. The ball inside to the goal shooter, Isabel Hodson, her second conversion. Melbourne with the alternate possession there. McNally in defence. Into Woodman. And now Maddie Sorrenti there. It's back with Monash. The grey uniforms, Melbourne in the royal blue. Mia Fallon, deflection there. Back to Hodson, goal shooter. Step aside there. And that's through. Monash 3, Melbourne 1. Just almost 5 minutes gone here. Melbourne with the ball now, Maddie Sorrenti with another turnover. Back inside to Hodson, tower of strength there. A little short with that one. Maddie Grimsley with the rebound there. I'm joined for some decidedly more expert commentary by Jordan Kransberg, who normally would have been playing in this game, but still rehabbing at the moment.
Yeah.
Jordan, what can you tell this far into the contest as we see another Melbourne shot go astray?
Look, Melbourne are doing well. I think it's just their conversions that are letting them down, I think, in the goal end.
As we see Zoe Kransberg
Getting a
with
few
an
intercepts.
intercept there.
Yeah.
A size advantage to Monash, just looking, casting my eye across the court, significantly. Goal shooter there.
Yes.
Isabel Hodson, clearly the tallest player on the court.
Yeah, she's been dominating early.
For those who are not aware, this is part of the Varsity Challenge, a multi-sport extravaganza between Monash and Melbourne, the two preeminent universities in Melbourne. But the Varsity Challenge itself has expanded into group of 8 competitions. And of course, last week we saw the University Nationals up on the Gold Coast. Varsity sport generally becoming more prominent. Abby McNally, wing defence there, the long pass ahead. Maddie Sorrenti. Contact there.
Yep. Tess Grimmond with the goal.
So timing regulations here, just for any of our viewers who may not be familiar with the rules and regulations of netball. Jordan?
15-minute quarters, 4 quarters. If there's a draw, I believe there would be a time on.
And the
In
clock runs
semi-final.
continuously throughout all action, whistles.
Yep, unless the umpire will call time for a injury or if the ball goes outside the playing field for too long.
Ella Woodman searching inside there. Ball comes in contact again. Maddie Sorrenti inside. Meg Evenden long, gets her own rebound. And puts that in to tie us up 7 minutes into this first quarter, or 7.5 minutes. It's Monash 3, the University of Melbourne 3. And in terms of substitutions, Jordan, we can see both benches, 3, 4 substitutes. Substitutes can come and go as they please, or once they're on, they're on.
Usually the substitutions happen at quarter time, half time and during the breaks, but the coach can call time for any injury substitutions. It has to be a direct change.
We'll see Isabel Hodson there converting again. She has the only one to trouble the scorers to this point. As we see deflection and up off the ring. Monash back in possession. Rebecca Sabaya back to the goalkeeper. Laura Kumek. Ball in the hands of the goal attack, Miranda Bailey. Now it's centre, Monique Tarrant.
Intercept, Zoe Cransberg.
Yep, a young lady you know too well. Zoe being Jordan's sister.
Yep.
Both involved in the Melbourne University Lightning program, playing in the VNL. And
As well as Ella Woodman in the centre.
Yep.
Nice ball movement.
Tess Grimman. So we heard the contact whistle there. The shot was taken. There's no disadvantage or advantage. Just counts as the score. There's no.
Yep.
Again, looking inside.
Very strong take by Bella Hodgson.
And that's good. Still nip and tuck affair, 5-4. Monash. Turnover there and contact the call.
Fast down the court, Monash.
Fallon's pass deflected there, but some contact on the arm. Madeline McMahon has to stand aside, ball deflected out of bounds. Contact call and another finish for Isabel Hodson. And Fallon looking. Nick Tarrant looking for another angle. Bella Hodson just a little too tall.
Great pass.
The perfect angle there.
Monash got a break early.
Little miscommunication. Took a deflection, I thought. Officials.
Maybe.
Yeah,
you
they
were
picked that
right.
up. Yeah, in terms of time on the ball, each player, once they catch the ball, they have how long to dispose of zone?
Just for 3 seconds.
3 seconds?
Yep.
So we see another Melbourne shot. Just drift astray. Desperate attempt to save there from Rebecca Sabaya. Still Melbourne ball.
Testament again, converting.
So we could see already Melbourne being forced to be a little cleverer with their passing, some use of the bounce pass and sharper angles. Monash more content to continue to throw the ball up to their central target, Hodson. Is that fairly typical strategically for?
Yeah, most of the time if you have a big tall shooter up in down your end, you're more inclined to do the pass over the top, and I think Melbourne are working with a moving circle, so they need to work the passes around a bit more.
Okay, and in terms of defensively, what can a side do defensively to try and combat somebody who's so dominant and has that height advantage inside?
I think it's very difficult. I think trying to bring the goal attack more into the game and double team the goal shooter, so the goal defence and goalkeeper might come back into the circle and let the goal attack get more of the ball, see if she can get a few shots up.
Okay.
And pressure on the edge of the circle by Monash.
Time ticking down now, just a little over 2 minutes remaining, first quarter. Melbourne trying to fling the ball around, a little low bounce pass. Scrimmage, little short with a shot. Monash, keeper, managed to get her hands on that, and Monash will retain the ball. Tarrant.
Deflection by wing defence.
Miranda Bailey there. Mia Fallon gets Monash underway again. Hodson trying to seal inside.
Yeah, you see the double team there. The
And
goal
call
defence
there
and the goalkeeper. Held ball, I think. It took longer than 3 seconds to release the ball.
So this is Zoe Kranzberg pushing down the right side of the court as we're looking at it. To Scrimmond again.
She
Up
converts.
and good. That infringement was?
Stepping.
And strictly speaking, the rule on stepping is? How many steps am I allowed to take?
If you land on one foot, you can't move that foot. You can pivot with your other. If you land on two, only allowed to move 1 foot.
Okay.
It's really only one step.
A little précis for the uninitiated at home. As we see
Another stepping call.
Stepping call. You say that as if that's unusual.
Somewhat unusual in netball.
Ball not quite far enough out in front of Hodson. 2 on 1, virtually. Teskerman held it up there. Pass and reposition. Little long. Desperate attempt to save. As the buzzer goes. 6 to Melbourne, 7 to Monash.
Tight game.
Quarter time on this Friday afternoon, and a balmy Friday afternoon outside. The weather taking a turn for the better as we're getting towards the end of the academic year. How many weeks to go?
About 2 weeks to go.
Exams
and then exams. 3 weeks to go and then
3
exams.
3 weeks of classes, then exam period.
Yep.
And a similar schedule at Monash.
Yeah, should be.
This game being hosted in the University of Melbourne's Nonallee Sports Centre, one of the 2 indoor stadiums upstairs, where the Melbourne University would do most of their training.
Yep.
What else can we glean from that first quarter? Jordan, if you were in a predictive mood, what would you be thinking?
I think it'll be a tight contest throughout the whole game. If the Melbourne Uni defence can keep up their pressure around the circle and stop Bella Hodgson's dominance, I think they've got a good chance. I think keep on working the ball, being patient with the ball. They'll be able to get it in there and attack. I think the goalers are doing a really good job getting around the defenders and moving around the circle.
So we can see a few of the highlights of the first half. And the respective coaches in the huddles here, what would Tegan Hopkins be talking about? The mentor of the University of Melbourne team.
Tegan, my old coach.
Really?
Yes, coached me for 2 years. I think she would just be talking about talking to the girls about steadying the ball, keeping the pressure up, working together, especially in defence, I think. Keeping the ball movement strong, as I think Melbourne is a little bit of a shorter team, making sure that we move the ball quicker.
And from a Monash point of view?
Monash team, I think, highlighting Bella's role and making sure that her importance is known, keeping the feeding into hers, and I think defensively getting more on the body and trying to work better together in stopping the movement of the goalers.
Okay, so just looking down there, it looks like Monash might have made a substitution
Right.
already. And I might leave that for you. So when a substitute player comes in, they literally take the designation of the player they've replaced?
Yes, yeah.
The bib?
Straight swap.
Right, so from a commentator's point of view, you really need a photo identikit array of players to be able to determine who is who, because they don't have a unique number on the uniform anywhere.
Yeah, it is very
When are they
difficult.
going to fix that?
I don't think they will. I think it'll remain the same.
Wouldn't
And
it
you
make
just have
sense
to
to
know
put a little
players.
number on the skirt or somewhere on the top that each player would have a unique identifier?
Yeah, I think in the big league, so the Super Netball, they each have a number. So Vixens have Vixens number 59, however many like that.
And why would that not have trickled down to other levels of the game?
Oh, I don't know. I think it's just tradition to just have the positions, and that's what you see.
Yeah, but not to obviate the positions, but you could still have the extra designate. Then you'd be certain of who's who.
Yeah, yeah.
It would certainly aid commentators.
Yes, it would.
Yeah. Okay, so under the alternate possession rule, that alternating possession continues after each score or at the start of each quarter.
Yep.
So we've got the ball back to Monash and in the hands of their centre. Tarrant. Oh, a little long on that pass again.
Pass.
It's almost exclusively looking for Hodgson at every turn.
Yeah.
A series of rotating satellites around her presence in the circle.
I think it'll be important for the Monash goal attack, Miranda Bailey, to get more involved in the game to give Bella a bit of a rest, I think. Keep the eyes off her.
Made a couple of substitutions here. I can see Hannah Kuhar on at wing attack. This is really going to test us out. Without the numbers.
Great defensive effort by Melbourne.
The mid-face of Zoe Kransberg still there. The ball rushed through, maybe 2 touches there. No, ball to go to Monash. Early stages, second quarter, just a minute in. It's Monash 7, University of Melbourne 6. 2018 Varsity Challenge continuing, netball. It's been a multiplicity of sports throughout the academic year. So we tick down towards exams, second semester.
Another held ball there. It's taken longer than 3 seconds to release the ball.
Hannah Kuhar there, moving the ball forward, goal attack. Kuhar.
Cross-court pass.
Oh. In terms of infractions, how many infractions can a player commit? Limitless?
It is limitless, but if it becomes an issue with the umpire, they can give a player a warning. And then if it keeps persisting, they get a caution. Okay, so and then if it persists again, they can be sent off.
Sent off, okay. Yeah. We just see another wayward long pass there. Again directed towards Hodgson in the goal shooter position for Monash as Melbourne push the ball down the floor. Wing attack. Goal shooter in the corner.
Another cross-court pass over to the goal.
Nice, the goal shooter, a little short. Scramble for the rebound. Monash centre comes away with it onto the goal defence. wing defence down towards wing attack. Hodgson trying to seal inside. Goal shooter.
Great defensive pressure by Melbourne there.
3 seconds.
3 seconds.
I'm waiting for the first 3 feet call. I'm amazed they haven't.
Obstruction.
Yeah, why has there been no metrification of that distance?
Oh, to metres.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you know how many metres it is in actuality?
No, I don't really know how long 3 feet is either.
0.9144 metres.
Oh,
I guess it doesn't
it's
quite
about
have
a
the same
metre.
ring to it, does it? As
No. 3
3
feet's
feet.
easier. I think if you play netball for long enough, you know how far it is.
Yeah. Hodgson again, up and in. Swishes through. My instincts tell me that both teams shooting below, let's say, 50%.
Yes, I think that'd be about right.
Kranzberg pushes it forward. Kuhart tries to find an angle. Oh, somebody's down.
Offside. Fast ball movement.
Stand aside. Goal shooter. It's good. Marching back to 1. Ultimate possession to Monash from the centre circle.
Great defensive effort by Ella.
Deflection into a wayward touch from Monash. Ball back to Melbourne. Some slick passing. Middle long. Monash the rebound. Goal defence, wing defence. Back to goal defence. Centre now. Steps and contact there, I think. Further down. Hodgson desperately angling to try and find some sort of advantage inside. And the wing attack and goal attack only had eyes for her, but it's turned over. Melbourne scuttling the ball down the floor.
A very fast transition down the court.
Shovel pass. Really good hands there. Goal shooter.
That's good.
Finds the nice soft
Scores
touch.
are back to level. Melbourne with an opportunity to lead.
Just over 6 minutes gone, second quarter. Real arm wrestle for want of a better cliche. Is possibly some of that, Jordan, due to the fact that a lot of these girls wouldn't be playing together regularly? They would have finished VNL season or club seasons, and playing for the university is only an occasional thing.
Yeah, I think so. I think, well, I know for the Melbourne girls, they don't train too much as a squad together, but it's just on the day who can work well enough together to get the job done, I think.
I guess so many levels of competition.
Yeah.
But we did see earlier in the year the University of Melbourne girls travelled up to Canberra to play against
Yes,
ANU
they
a few
did.
weeks ago.
Yeah. Had a big win,
Yep.
recall.
It mirrors similar competitions in Australian rules. Cricket, we've seen the 2020 cricket. And of course the rugby sevens, with the University of Melbourne having a team in that national competition as of this year. And the final round of that Aon Sevens will be on this weekend up on the Gold Coast.
Really? Melbourne Uni playing?
Melbourne, yeah, every team plays in each round, so
Right.
10 competitions, 10 universities from across the country.
Okay.
And certainly been a learning year for the University of Melbourne with only one or two girls that had played rugby sevens before.
Oh,
including,
wow.
Yeah, American Olympian Ryan Carlisle had come over to bolster the side, but
That would help a fair bit.
yeah, but a mixture of Australian rules players, touch footballers, netballers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been tough going, but I think the mood is still positive. They're hoping to get their first win somewhere this weekend during the round.
I think as it progresses through the year, I think Melbourne will be able to improve in that regard.
Yeah, well, I
a bit more
think
training.
probably, and as the years progress, if the program can be built, there'll be more expectation from students, because it certainly wasn't even known at the start of the year that this was a possibility, that for students who have the right academic profile and thinking of coming to the University of Melbourne, that would be another advantageous situation. That with that competition sitting, as we see Melbourne tied up again at 10 all, that competition sitting just one level below the national team program.
Oh, wow.
That was stepping.
I think so. I think that would be stepping. I think that was stepping.
Monash with the ball, 10, incredibly low scoreline here. Really
yes,
tight.
Yes, it is. Surprisingly low for netball.
Strategic encounter, I would call it. The centre there just encroaching on the circle, is that the...
Yep, that's right.
You see Melbourne,
long pass.
Almost a wayward pass here through that.
My sister.
Yeah. Melbourne, Kuhar, the bobble there. Some contact found away from the ball. Zoe Kransberg with the ball, goal defence.
It's a double play there.
Pushes ahead. Nice pass right out wide on the wing. The interior pass a little long. Both teams guilty of multiple turnovers there in the last couple of minutes.
So there's a few passes going astray in both teams.
Less than 5 minutes remaining, second quarter. You get the feeling if either team can put a little run on here and ball out of the centre, 2 or 3 consecutive goals. As you see the ball get back inside to Hodgson, where it hasn't been for a while. The goal shooter position. She's short, but
it's her own rebound.
Her own rebound and converts. Sits on the rim and dribbles in. 11-10 Monash, their ball from the centre.
Great ball by Monash wing attack. Mia Fallon.
And the left-hander's able to convert that one.
Is that her first goal for the game?
I think it is. Tegan Hodgson dominated the scoring till then.
Yeah.
Can Melbourne answer? Give and go play, back cut. Shot short from the goal attack. Monash with a rebound. Goalkeeper, wing defence, centre, fluently down to the wing attack, back to wing defence, goal attack looking inside Hodgson.
Hodgson was free there.
Wing attack lobs it up. Hodgson anchors that foot right under the rim. The goal, as it were. There's the little break we spoke about.
Yes.
Monash up to 3 now with the centre pass.
Oh. In that the ball has to be touch hands in the centre third before it leaves in a centre pass. Is that call?
Melbourne find a way to score here and then get the ball back from the centre. Long range shot. It's good.
She converts. Good tip by the Monash goalkeeper.
Back to wing defence. Searching for an opening here. Some contact. winning defence, initiates the attack again. Hodgson. It's too agile.
Starting to find a bit more of the ball in this last part of the quarter.
Maybe some of the defenders tiring slightly. Short. 90 seconds left, second quarter. University of Melbourne trailing by 3. Bit of deflection there, some contact.
Very high ball up to Bella Hodgson.
Ooh,
Argue that
extremely
ball,
close to the
very
line.
close to the line. Clean intercept. Oh, no.
Maybe not.
No.
The umpires found some contact there. A reprieve for Melbourne. Oh, one extra pass. Maybe didn't need to be thrown. Monash away again. You have a feeling Hodgson's going to appear somewhere here. A little long, just 22 seconds. Clock not stopping here now. Melbourne's really going to have to race the ball down the floor if they want to find a score to finish the quarter. Are they aware of the clock?
10 to go.
8. 5. Nobody seemed to be aware there. Hard to communicate that last second situation. So incredibly, probably a scoreline you would expect after one quarter, not one half.
That is true.
14, University of Melbourne 11. Especially the respective teams heading off to their huddles. So Jordan, what does you'd normally be playing in this game? What does the rest of the year hold for you, rehabilitation-wise?
Well, I've just started running a little bit more, so I'm running twice a week now, just straight line stuff at the moment. And then in about a month or 2, I'll start weaving and dodging and starting to do a bit more ball work. Hopefully back on court by late Feb, March.
Okay.
That's the goal.
And in terms of before you were injured, you were in the National Under-19 program. Where does that sit at the moment? Do the selectors keep in touch with you or the coaches from that squad, or it's a matter of once you get yourself back, you'd come back through the state system? I know the VIS are providing some support for you at the moment.
Yeah, well, basically that national selection was for under-19, so next year I'll be too old for that.
Under-21s
yeah,
next.
But the next one, they actually got rid of under-21 states, so it's now like an open squad, so I'll be aiming to get into that to keep my scholarship at the VIS, but other than that, I'll stay at the VIS until August next year and see what happens from there, and hopefully be able to play some ANL if I can, which is the...
Okay, so to explain to anybody listening or not sure of the levels, in terms of Australia, I would either be playing at the bottom or entry level, I'd be playing club netball.
Yep. Yep.
And from there, what would happen?
So I think it would be club level, and then the next one above would be representative netball. So I think like state, there's a thing called state titles, which is different regions that you do a big tournament and compete against.
I think it's going on at the moment, this weekend.
Yes,
some of the
it is this weekend actually.
Country regionals I've seen.
Yeah, and then I would say above that, probably VNL. That's the Victorian Netball League, and then...
So players would be identified from that state-based competition?
Yeah, they can be.
By VNL clubs to say that, okay.
Yeah, and that also, those state titles also give talent identification for state programs, like the state teams and Zone Academy as well, which is a development for young netballers.
And from VNL, those players that are exhibiting the most ability in VNL will then be selected or identified by ANL clubs, which is the Australian Netball League, which
Yeah.
used to be the Trans-Tasman League. The New Zealanders have now broken away and have their own league.
No, that's ANL is Australian Netball League, and then there's Super
Ah,
Netball now.
Super Netball sitting
and
above.
that
That's
was
where the New Zealanders
that was
broke
where
away.
the New Zealanders broke away. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there is a myriad of pathways, which are clearly defined, but there's that
Yeah.
the National League, ANL, VNL, or Trans-Tasman as it's called, the
Yeah.
top level,
Yeah.
fully professional.
Yeah.
ANL would be considered not professional.
No, you
No.
don't get paid for that. Yeah.
VNL, clubs sitting underneath.
Yeah. How long's this break? Is it?
No time on the clock, I'm not sure.
Don't know.
What's the normal half-time break for netball?
5-minute break.
Okay, it's a
And
little
3
like rugby, a
minutes
little
for
old school with
quarters.
that they
Yeah.
get the play
Yeah.
back underway.
Yeah. Short and sweet.
The umpires look like they're having quite a convivial chat over there. So team's looking fairly relaxed. Friday evening.
Yeah.
So what can we expect in the second half? Surely more scoring.
Hopefully more scoring.
Yeah.
I think teams will attackers will start figuring out their own defenders. Hopefully get a few more goals on the board.
Okay, and that's very much an individual thing. Once I've got somebody guarding me, they're designated as my defender, and
Yeah, unless changes are made by the coaches. It's not that common in netball for changes to be made.
I know one of the organisers did promise me he would provide an up-to-date standing table for the Varsity challenge between Melbourne and Monash, the two old rivals. The last we saw it was Monash leading by a point or a point and a half. Each of the respective competitions and genders equates to 1 point for their annual championship.
Right.
Table tennis, touch, football, men and women's football, soccer as it is, Australian rules, basketball, netball as we're seeing today. No men's netball, but women's netball.
No men's netball in the uni?
Not in the Varsity Challenge
Right.
this year.
Right.
I think maybe some men's netball at the uni. Yeah, I know there's mixed netball played at
Yeah,
lunchtime. But
I know that one too.
so what about from a study perspective? How have you found this is your first year, transition to university from school?
Yeah, I think it's been okay. It's extremely different from school. I think you have to. I know I have to be a lot more independent with my studies. It's more up to you to get things done, rather than at school. It was kind of, this is what you have to do. If you get in trouble if you don't do it. I think at uni it's your choice to do it or not. I think that's it's more self-controlled.
Does that marry up with what you were told before you came to university?
Yeah, a little bit. I didn't expect it to be as drastic as it was, but I think it's just adapting to it now. After having a semester here, I think it's been good. I think it's good to have some independence and a bit of freedom.
What's the strangest thing that's happened since you've been at university?
Not really much. Strangest. I don't think there's nothing really. No.
Out of the ordinary?
No.
What about when you were trying to navigate your way around campus just after your injury?
Oh, that was extremely difficult. Walking around on crutches for a couple of weeks, not knowing where I was going. The campus is huge. It's very difficult to know where to go. I figured it out.
Yeah, particularly now with the railway tunnel being built, pretty much
Yeah.
through the middle of the university, split the campus in two.
Yeah.
One of the advantages and disadvantages being right in the middle of the city. This does seem to be a lengthy break.
It's definitely more than 5 minutes.
It looks like a few more substitutions Monash have decided to make. The one consistent is the goal shooter. Doesn't look like she's going anywhere.
No, I don't think.
Isabel Hodson.
I don't think she will.
What level does Isabel play? Where is she?
She's been in the state program, so she was in the 17 and under team last year, and she was in the 19 and under development program for the state team. And then she also plays VNL for Burundara, so I've played against her for a few years.
So Monash University doesn't have a team in the VNL?
No, they did, but they've changed to Hawks Netball now, so they've merged with the AFL team Hawks. So Hawthorn. Yeah.
So that's a combined operation between Monash University, Hawthorn. Was there any other existing netball club or not? No.
Well, Monash University was the existing, like
VNL?
the VNL club.
And they just became Hawks?
And they just became Hawks, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they took over the Hawthorn colours, that strange brown and gold?
Brown and gold.
Yeah. But there's a Monash designation on the uniform somewhere now to indicate the partnership?
I haven't really gone up close to the uniform. I assume there would be.
We know there's no numbers on the uniforms. But
no.
You know I'm going to keep pushing for that. I think that makes eminent sense.
It'd be hard to see numbers from a commentator's perspective, though.
Yeah, I think if they were, if you put them in a different colour, like in orange or something, they would on a little white background, they'd clearly stand out, and each player would be uniquely identified. I don't know of any other sport in the world where there's not a unique numeric identifier for each. Even surfing.
I don't think there is. Yeah, surfing
they have a number on their board shorts.
Running.
Triathlon, they paint a number on their arm.
Swimming doesn't. They don't wear numbers.
It's probably true.
Yeah.
As we see the very traditional 3-2-1 cheers before people go back onto the court. I'm always waiting for the day somebody will break the mould there and find some other unique motivator.
Yeah, our Melbourne Uni Club does something a little bit different.
Okay, can you share that with us?
Yeah, we go 1-2 MU.
Yeah. A little bit of rhyming slang as we see Melbourne with the ball here. First pass.
Wayward pass.
Symptomatic of some of the malaise in the first half. Goes astray. Monash now with the opportunity to register the first score in the third quarter. Varsity Challenge, if you've just tuned in. Monash University, the University of Melbourne. Arch rivals for many, many years. The two largest universities, and a little bit of that confusion and lack of cohesion that we've seen as a lot of these players playing for different clubs don't play for their university as a unit that often. Here we are late in the season, VNL completed. It's Bella Hodson right underneath the ring there, scoring what I believe is her 14th goal.
Yes,
14 to the 15. Desperate lunge, looking for Hodson inside. Zoe Kransberg with the marking and the defensive assignment there.
That's what Melbourne need to continue to do, try and get the goal, Monash goal
that's
attack
a switch up
into the
defensively.
game.
Zoe now guarding the goal shooter or not? Was that just happenstance out of that last sequence?
I think that just happened to be the case where the defenders rotated, but it is often seen that sometimes where the goal defence comes back and gives the goalkeeper a bit of a run at the ball.
Nice little give and go lob. Hodson, the good hands.
Great lob. She's
short. Yeah, ball. No, Monash
Melbourne
turned
ball.
it over. Oh.
Not Not sure what happened there.
It's a turnover either way.
Yeah.
A few of the players looking a little confused. Some contact there. Hudson short again.
Short.
But very quick to that rebound.
Hard to rebound against Bella, I assume.
Margin out to 5. Melbourne from the centre. It's quite a while since Melbourne scored. Another turnover. A few dropped heads there.
Monash quick into attack.
Early stages, third quarter, Varsity challenge from the campus of the University of Melbourne. Bella Hodson, just a tower of strength underneath the basket, converts again. Margin out to 6. Doesn't seem that long ago, it was 10 all. Steps there, was that the...
Yep, that's correct.
Ooh, collision there. Ball mysteriously goes to Melbourne. Wing defence, wing attack, centre.
Allard is a double play.
Looking for a target.
Have a shot. Good movement of Angolas.
Australia, Monash rushing the ball forward. Rebound Melbourne. Oh, almost a
Oh.
turnover.
Drags it in.
Looking for a runner there.
Shot just short.
As we tick under the 10-minute mark. Third quarter. 17-11 to Monash in the grey. University of Melbourne in the blue. Another shot here, and that one's good. Finally some relief on the scoreboard. So the players that have been substituted off, they can come back on theoretically now, or?
Yes, yep.
Okay. Just waiting for a break in play or a timeout.
Yeah.
Melbourne looking for an angle. Goal shooter covered. Goalkeeper doing a good job. Ball deflected away again. Sharp pass and contact. Or a deflection.
Deflection. Monash doing very well at staying extremely tight on the Melbourne plays. Every pass is a
It's hardly,
pressure.
yeah.
Not much room to breathe.
Thrown it away.
Good tip there.
Hudson again making space. pulling that foot back. Push the margin back out to 6 again.
Here's a change made.
Abby McNally back as they replace the bibs.
Short again on that shot.
Can hear the umpire there, offside wing. Defence. Ball, Hodgson.
Take.
Oh, short arm that one.
The pressure on the shot.
Defence, girl shooter. Just plucked
Clean
away.
intercept.
Deflection there, no, it's very timely deflection. Melbourne's away.
Need to convert here.
Been stopped. Turnover. Another turnover. Nothing doing on the shot.
There.
Contact and the ball's back to Monash. Just over 5 minutes remaining, third quarter. 18-12 if you can believe it. Really tight affair. Varsity Challenge Netball, almost the end of the Varsity Challenge season. University of Melbourne in the blue, navy blue, or royal blue as it were. Monash in the grey, the light blue trim or aqua trim. Monash with the ball, comes astray. Wing attack with it now, looking for Hodgson as they've done all game.
Nice. Goal-to-goal pass there.
Hodgson being the goal shooter who converts there again, has scored all but one of Monash's 19 goals. Melbourne back to the centre, trailing by 7. Ideally would find a way to eat into this margin before the three-quarter time break. They turn it over again.
Physicality of the game has increased a fair bit in this quarter.
Does that mean it's getting a little bit chippy?
Well, it tends to.
Yeah. Hodgson the one constant there. Just seemingly able to haul passes in at angles that other players cannot. An exquisite offensive rebounder, and it's Monash 20, University of Melbourne 12.
Replay ball.
Replay being the bobble there.
Yes, you can't control the ball and drop it and then pick it up again.
So what's left for you to do? You have to just leave it there and somebody else has to come and pick it up.
Yep, try and stop
Risky
the other
business.
team from getting it.
Melbourne finally gets it into the goal attack, but that one is short as well. Monash cross court, Hodgson,
Long pass.
Too good. 21 Monash, 12 University of Melbourne. Melbourne from the centre. Just a tick over 3 minutes remaining, third quarter. Yeah, run out of answers at the moment, Melbourne. Just can't quite get any of the point blank shots, and a little bit of uncertainty at some of those 8 or 9 feet shots that goal attack, goal shooters seem a little uncertain about, should I supposed to be taking that one? Can I find a better angle? Whereas Hodgson's created all the angles for Monash inside the goal shooter position. Just been dominant. There she's again, little backhand flick. Probably an unfortunate call there.
It's an opportunity for Melbourne to chip away at this difference.
Just really close guarding inside the circle. You'd have to give a big vote to the goal defence and goalkeeper from Monash. As much as Hodgson's dominated down this end, they've been superb down the other end, limiting easy opportunities.
Playing extremely tight on both their players, making it very difficult for Melbourne to get the ball into the close to the circle, to the ring.
Do they have any defensive metrics in netball that would measure the effectiveness of the goal defender and goalkeeper?
Usually if the other team scores less.
Okay, it's just the shooting percentage.
Or
nothing such as proximity to the ring.
no, there's nothing like that. Sometimes
average
a good
distance of shot.
Yeah, good indication sometimes is how many contact calls the player's gotten.
Okay.
If that's low, it either means they're getting clean ball or they haven't, or they're not near it.
While we're talking the scores, oh, there's a bobbles out from Melbourne. Scores ballooned out to 23 to 12. Monash, just 40 seconds left, third quarter. Varsity Challenge, this edition of the Varsity Challenge looks only to be heading one way at the moment. Hodgson rides the bump. Sits up on the rim, falls away.
Melbourne with an opportunity here to get a quick goal.
I think it's only been the one for the quarter for Melbourne.
Wow.
Make that two. Right on the stroke of three-quarter time. The buzzer going now. All to do for Melbourne last quarter. It's Monash 23, the University of Melbourne 12. The Varsity Challenge here from the campus of the University of Melbourne. Nunley Sports Centre as we see the respective teams move off to the last huddle. Any wild and wacky solutions you could find if you were coaching the University of Melbourne group at the moment?
Maybe changing something up in the goal end, I don't know.
To try and
try anything.
You're talking at the attacking end or the defensive end?
The attacking end, try and make a change there to just do something different.
What structural changes are possible?
Could get Zoe in the goaling end.
Okay.
The basketball, she may be able to shoot.
Okay.
I think at this point, trying anything.
Any change would be a good change,
yeah.
And what about from a defensive point of view? What can they do with Isabel Hodgson, who's been so dominant?
Defensively, I think still trying to limit her, try and maybe push her higher up the circle, get her out of the circle leading to give that goal attack a bigger job. I think it's extremely difficult though with the talent and dominance she's shown, but trying to push her up higher to make her shoot from further distances.
And that's by physically putting a body on her and trying to...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just got a text from the Melbourne Uni coach, Sarah Norton, asking for score updates. She lost her connection on the live stream.
Okay. So it's the Melbourne University Lightning coach, or?
No, the varsity coach. I think Tegan's just filling in for Sarah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And where is Sarah that she's not here today?
I have no idea.
Probably a work day for most people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the netball, the representative netball scene is nothing happening at the moment. The VNL finished.
Yeah. VNL, ANL's all finished, so it's just soon get into trials again for the VNL teams and state teams and things like that. And then start a long pre-season.
A long pre-season.
Yeah.
See the Monash girls there, understandably quite buoyant. It's been a really comprehensive display. This score is extraordinarily low, isn't it? 23 to 13.
Yes, it's very
Can you
uncommon
remember
to see a score this
what
low.
age group was the last time you were playing in a game where the score was 23-13?
Oh, under 14s maybe. I coach a team at Pegs, and I think their scores are similar to this.
Yeah.
A few of them.
I think it's just
A
a
little bit
combination
lower.
of, we'll say from the Monash point of view, great defence. They've managed to find all the angles as that one's short. Can Melbourne put
Oh,
some
Bella
sort
Hodgson's off.
of run together? Do you think that's a conditioning thing, or to give her a rest and see what some other players can do, feeling the game is in hand?
Yeah, I think so. I think Monash feel pretty comfortable at this point, so taking her off isn't necessarily...
How unusual would it be for a 10-goal margin to be turned around in one quarter?
Extremely unusual, but it is possible. It can be done.
So we need a sequence of turnovers and some really sharp shooting,
Yep.
the likes of which we have not seen to date. Monash content to move the ball around the circle. So you've told Sarah the bad news?
Yes, she's very disappointed. Held ball there.
Oh, wayward pass.
Replay ball.
Another pretty unforced turnover there from Melbourne. Monash.
Monash goal defence having a great game.
I think that pass was intended for an Isabel Hodgson who's not on the floor. That sort of height. A bounce pass there. Long range shot, bounces off. That's pretty much the range from which Melbourne's been forced to shoot, and they've really...
Defensive pressure there.
No defence, no attack. Just don't have that central target that they can sit down under the basket and almost exert a gravitational pull on the defence.
Yes.
You're getting
Contact
the turnovers,
ball
just
there.
can't convert at the other end. 3 minutes gone last quarter. Melbourne scrambled to come up with that loose ball. Oh, body down.
Finds herself alone at the post. Monash been extremely strong on the rebounds as well.
Melbourne ball. It's an exercise in futility so far this quarter for both teams. 3.5 minutes gone, no scores. You see another turnover. Monash pushing to attack. Centre, another Hodson pass to a non-Hodson. Oh, another turnover. Monash ball from the end line. Centre looking inside. Some contact. Goal defence forced to step aside, but that shot is long.
Stepped onto the court too
Stepped onto
early
the
there.
court. And for those purposes, on the line is on the court.
Yes, yep, the line is on.
Nice little exchange of passing there and there. Monash gets the scoring underway in the last quarter to push that lead out to 11 goals. Just a tick under 10 minutes remaining. Varsity Challenge Netball for 2018. University of Melbourne, Royal Blue. The wing victory prominently displayed on the uniform. Monash in the grey with the aqua trim. And a Monash team that's been utterly dominant today. Melbourne still can't make it fit. Some contact on the rebound. Goal attack for Melbourne.
And goal. Another long pass.
It's almost like the conditions have been right for a comeback in terms of Monash being unable to score and turning it over, but
yeah, Melbourne just finding it difficult to convert from their turnovers.
nice left-hand finish. Just that lack of fluency there again between the centre goal shooter. Wing defence goes back to goalkeeper. Ball ahead, wing attack. Down the floor. Goal attack finds a nice little pass inside. It's a long way short, possibly deflected.
It could be. Didn't see a tip there. Melbourne unable to convert again there.
Goal shooter this time. Nope, same result. Short. Surely this time. No, that one's long, but there's some contact.
Too close.
Well, attack can't
Short
do it
again.
either. That wide wing attack looking for an entry to the circle. There's one. Goal shooter, little long.
Hunting there by the goal defence.
just winding away to its conclusion. 6 minutes remaining. Monash just comfortably holding that buffer. 11 goals. Melbourne ball just inside the circle. Goal attack this time. A little bit of contact. Sits up on the stanchion. Be a retake there. That one's good.
And good. Dodge there. Goal attack.
Certainly exhibiting a different style of goal attack or goal shooting there compared to what we've seen from Hodgson, using her agility to create angles and move defenders the wrong way.
Yeah, you can see the goal attack getting a bit more involved now that Hodgson's out. Using her
Monash
speed.
demonstrating they can play the game a number of ways. Goal defence, wing defence, goal attack flashes. She reappears on the sideline, looking for an angle. She'll make that back cut there.
Fast ball movement. Oh, too fast.
Goal shooter, maybe an extra pass that didn't need to be made. Arguably, whether the goal attack was in a better position. Melbourne struggling to get the ball out of the back third. Nice deflection there.
Pressure there. Melbourne ball.
It almost looked like the players made their own determination there rather than the umpire.
Umpires.
Does that happen at all or not?
You can sometimes try and convince the umpire that it's your ball. Most of the time it's the umpire's decision. If you sell it enough, they might believe
Do
you.
the players ever concede and say, no, it was off me?
Oh no, I wouldn't. It's not a common thing to do.
Okay. This was something that was supposed to be part of the gentleman's game of cricket. I don't know if that's relevant anymore, but cricket's probably disabused anybody that might have had that notion of it. Tick down under 3 minutes. It's a comprehensive win to Monash here. And all credit to them. Are we saying it's just Hodgson or a combination of Bella Hodgson in the goal shooter position and the defence, goalkeeper, that combination?
I think the defence has been a big role in Monash's win. Their pressure throughout down the whole court has made it very difficult for Melbourne to score.
Anytime you would say I can keep the other team to 15 goals, you would say
Done a good job.
hence my search for a metric. Where is the metric that tells us exactly in numbers what a great job the goal defender and goalkeeper have done, and more than likely as well a combination of the centre, maybe the wing defence, all contributing to that pinching effect of denying space and forcing Melbourne to shoot from really positions which they clearly were not comfortable with. I think if we had statistically a heat map of the shooting areas on the court, I think you would find that for Monash it's been concentrated under the ring, and for Melbourne the majority of shots have been concentrated in an area 6 to 8 feet away from the ring, and it does make it extraordinarily more difficult to accumulate a score if you're not getting those point-blank shots that Hodgson's been the recipient of.
Need another big target in there for Melbourne. So just lacking.
or a totally counterintuitive strategy that's still
Yes.
within the rules. Maybe it's yet to be discovered.
Mm.
Do you think something, well, I'll go a little left field, something such as a 3-point shot would potentially, or 2-point shot as it may be, in netball would change the game at all
Oh,
if they were
definitely.
introduced? I know they've experimented with that in
The fast five.
Fast fives.
Yeah. I think it would. I think a lot of shooters will have the ability to shoot from further distances if that's introduced.
And it might free up some of that
Space inside the
yeah.
circle. Yeah.
And some of the dependence on the dominant centre, or the dominant
goal shooter.
In the central position under the basket. Yeah.
Hmm.
Anyway, food for thought. I'm sure the netball authorities are pondering similar type of questions and adjustments, but clearly again, there's tradition to be weighed against that, and functionality, and finding a place to experiment with such changes as we see Melbourne try and add a late goal and right
on the buzzer.
On the buzzer. That'll leave us final score. I think that's going to tick up to 16. 29 to 16. Congratulations to Monash. Way too good today. Combination of Hodson and Bella Hodson at the goal shooter, and a really impervious defence. Anything else to add there, Jordan? Apart from the fact you'd love to be out there, and hopefully will be next year.
Definitely will be out there on the court. Hopefully we can beat them. No, it's a solid performance by Monash. I think Melbourne did well to stay in it for as long as they did, and I think they did well to keep at it the whole game.
Yeah, probably 29 in itself is not an insurmountable score.
No.
If Melbourne had said at the start of the game that Monash was going to score 29, they probably wouldn't feel too badly about things, would they?
No, probably not.
Yeah, but as it turned out, thanks for tuning in this Friday afternoon. Almost the end of the Varsity Challenge season. The netball, one of the last sports to be contested, and today it's been Monash University way too strong, winning 29 goals to 16 goals. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.